Um, it is Saturday. I think it's October. Yeah, it's October 29th, 2022. So, um, I ran. Today was day two, trying to get back into whatever. So, watching the 9 and 10 o'clock news on Channel 2 today. Um, John Elliot being the weatherman. That, and again, I don't know if I should be calling him meteorologist, just in case the Phillies are playing the Astros at some point. I really don't know how base or balls at the base go, but whatever on that. So I'm watching. They're airing out Glen Cove L.I today. They have their mayor on. She did not look like she was so happy to be on camera. I'm just going to be honest, from like a couch potato perspective, watching this. I have to say simultaneously, I tried to watch Bill Maher. Lynn and Lou invited me in this morning. I couldn't do it. I was busy doing something else more important, um, with pencil and paper and headliners. And then I tried to catch up on it after I watched this Glen Cove because I see this semblance here of a reality. And then I see whatever. But I don't know what for. I don't know why the mayor of Glen Cove would not be happy to be on camera if she's highlighted or spotlighted on Long Island. I'm not real clear on what's going on in the background on Long Island, especially with whatever's going on in the city at the moment that is like this unspoken of whatever. Um, so I see Army Corps of Engineers speaking. I see some representative from something that one of the interworks of after Superstorm Sandy, where they're talking from Staten Island perspective, and the woman seems very angry about people who are being left hung out to dry. And again, I don't know if that's an electric appliance reference. I don't know if that's the clothesline for those that opted to not participate in the electric or gas dryers, for families with carry forward credits that may not be receiving what they deserve. Um, and with whatever it is, or not having enough funds to hire somebody to represent them properly. I'm not quite sure. I could see the anger behind that conversation for certain based on how my life has presented. Um, but I'm watching this now from a Glenway perspective, and now being Bayside in a, I don't like, what I feel like saying is respectfully, I'm on a hunger strike because I don't see anything visually that I want to devour with my eyes. So I'm on a hunger strike at the moment, just due to the Bon Appetit is not anywhere at a level that, I mean, again, at basket cases. So interestingly enough, with basket case, Bill Maher this week, I was like, ay, ay, ay. First of all, his opening, like, it borders disrespect, but the microphone, like, user, that, or the conduit that they're using, again, wherever credits are being given and taken, I'm not quite sure. So I normally wouldn't even whatever, except if it's really pertinent to what I got going on at forced hunger strike. for like 44 years, and like something's not right. Like there was a brick wall and a very specific menu, and then all of a sudden it's like, so here we are. Um so I'm watching this um mention so they had this week he had on Quentin Tarantino, who's a movie director. He spoke of something called New Hollywood. Never heard of it. I mean, like, I guess black and white, silver cup studios type thing. That's old Hollywood. I don't really know. And then what? Now there's like a new Hollywood. Oh boy, those splinter groups are really like an exponential problematics. Now, interestingly enough, in my life frame of that 70s show, but like I'm the curtailment of that 70s show showing up in 78. So, like, the conscious awareness of what the crime scene looked like really didn't start until 80s ish. But here we are at like that 70s show is out to sea in a very meaningful, impactful way. And they have really serious whatevers. So, at arms, reach, legs, and navels. So here we are at shipping and containment, and really could make everything so screwy if they get wind of the wrong whatever and whatever. So, um, somewhere in my career after my son Benjamin, in my attempt at staying in somewhat awareness, I went to something called Green Street. I think it was Green Light, Green Street. I don't remember, whatever it was. But they taught me one set of characteristics for my licensing in the SEC industry. I had a whole bunch of different licenses, and I had a whole bunch of different numbers that I know what they were. They're on whatever with FINRA and whatever else watches over that stuff. So, um, I passed background checks and everything. So there's that. And then there was later on when they gave me customer service as to, like, just answer phones for a while and help the customers and be like really friendly because they're not all nice. And then there was a back office that, even though the customers weren't nice, I still had to be nice to the back office, which when the back office was open, I was like, they were really a stellar crew. Like, honestly, like they were really, I mean, talk about a service unit of, I really like, they were located in New Jersey at the time. And then I don't know, back office closed. I have no idea why at Merrill. Um, just like packed up and stopped being our back office. And then there was like a 1-800 number that was introduced. It was really horrible. But around the same time, the financial advisors were being advised to start promoting diversified buckets and mutual funds, and like almost like the casino wheel was spinning. And around the same time, like, I don't really know what this diversified portfolio, it used to be like the FAs would say, no, we're going with, like, they had their book of business and they had their investments that were their index steadies. Like, there were portfolio managers with a set whatever before they went splinter group and they just started haphazardly investing in IPOs and any whatever. It's not no kid with a lawyer could like protect himself. I mean, it's just really gone off rails. Really, it has, as far as like a whatever. So, that's a problem. Then in real estate, there's this FHA and this federal aspect of fair housing. Got it. Not sure what law degree is involved with that, but it has something to do with civil. But what happens is it's in direct violation of a possibility of a treason thing it teeters on. So I don't really understand how that's so enforceable. If like, I mean, it's like a real, I mean, I always complied with, if you're telling me and you're sending me these clients, I know there's always a real possibility. So again, I trepidatiously, there was lawyers involved at there was a title company, and there was like, I mean, because I don't want, like, if there's a flood, I know Army Corps of Engineers is talking about something called a groin that they build at the bay, but there's also this other forced issue of diversifying portfolios, breaking piggy banks, and breaking in a kid's security. And it's like, which way? And then they're saying that OCD is a disease. I'm like, depends on who you ask, because I'm pretty sure the Germans, they rely on OCD to teach language. Just saying, I heard. I've been busy, like, trying to figure out where I belong and who makes the most sense at teaching things.
Andrea, you know where your polling place is, and you know where your weatherman is, too. So we're in Glen Cove here on the beautiful North Shore. And you just think 10 years ago, I mean, hundreds of trees, probably thousands of big trees knocked down. And the big issue on the North Shore was power outages during Sandy. Coming up, we're going to talk, we'll look back at.
I personally feel power outages has been like a big key component of why the formality of the correct husbandry and paternal factor did not capitulate properly from the get-go. I'm just saying, it just seems like what happened. It's almost like if I could have a big brother conversation with somebody who actually cared about me, I think as a big brother, he'd say, it's almost like they look at everything that you really hold near and dear to your heart and that you love more than anything. And it's like they play this strategy game to make sure you never get it. Because that's what it feels like in summation after 44 years on this island. It really feels like they spun the dial and played some casino game, and they prevented any happiness from ever occurring in my life frame. Children, I'm not even there, because their generation isn't even up for as a topic of discussion. You haven't gotten my generation correct, and there's a big break in eggheads. So at egghead level, I need some serious like fix before we even get to talking about the children and what nonsense they've got up. Like, I mean, it's
At what Sandy brought to the North Shore, but we're also going to have some fun and raise some money for a great cause. Right now, though, yes, the coat's on. It is chilly. Playing golf, you need more than. Today marks 10.
so this says Sandy alert. She's wearing a shirt that looks like a horror movie I've never seen. I think it's the Freddy series of the slasher. Again, I've got personal, somebody crept into, like, somebody, however it happened, I went into a deeper sleep and I woke up and my stomach, my legs, and another area were completely slashed. It happened, and it happened while I lay somewhere in the Bayside area. And that was right before the millennial turn at Y2K. But she's wearing a Freddy shirt today, and it is October, right around Halloween.
Staten Island's Miller Field. CBS 2's Christina Fan is live in Midland Beach, Staten Island, an area that was hit hard by Sandy. Christina? Good morning, Andrea. The images from
Behind her, it says Gateway National Recreation Area, Staten Island Unit, Miller Field. I've never heard of this place before. Gateway National. The Miller Field, however, I mean, a later segment looks in Glen Cove like Lake Grove. When I dressed Benjamin up for his first Halloween after we bought the house on Miller Drive, which happened to be 2 Miller Drive. Um, he met the mayor of Lake Grove at the time. They had a big Halloween thing. I was so, like, the people in Lake Grove were so wonderful at 11755 when we lived there briefly. And I had a very specific person who was recommended by Lynn Grant to watch over in whatever was going on.
Superstorm Sandy are hard to forget even a decade later. The storm claimed dozens of lives. It inflicted billions of dollars worth of damage, but it also spurred transformative change to better prepare this area for future storms. The Jersey Shore has mostly been repaired and rebuilt after Superstorm Sandy left boardwalks looking like a complete wasteland 10 years ago. Flood protection project, where levees, flood walls, and pump stations aim to prevent future disaster.
The $265 million project will harden our defenses against future tidal surges.
In the Rockaways, this coastal storm risk reduction project hopes to slow down beach erosion.
At federal level, there is a tidal surge that's been happening across and along Long Island with a homestead title issue. Been floods of money from I don't know what part of casino or world global operation. And it's dangerously obvious, and there's been no preparation. I mean, I haven't received any preparation for this much new housing of however or whatever, or again, these diversified buckets and these IPOs that everybody was doing right after the initial like Freddy Krueger event on my part. I mean, I can only time it in what physical trauma I received from this horrendous informality of being whatever in whatever with the crazy donkey.
These long stone structures, called groins, are supposed to hold the sand in place. Also being added, a reinforced steel sheet pile dune.
They're acting as a coastal defense. It prevents that wave action from coming in and taking out infrastructure, and on the bay side, it prevents that storm surge flooding from coming ashore.
But advocates argue the work still isn't over, especially when it comes to storm recovery.
We have to reform the system that disaster survivors go through, because we are right now leaving people out to be hung dry.
That is an understatement at the moment.
9:16. Let's head out to Long Island. John Elliot live in Glen Cove with our first alert forecast. Hi, John.
I gotta tell you, you pull up with photographer Vince, and the stars come out. This is Mayor, and I've been working on this. Pamela Panzenbeck of Glen Cove. How'd I do?
Just call me Mayor Pam, and I'll be very happy, and I'll answer any question you wish.
I love Glen Cove. What a great little gem. I like what you're doing. We're here at the golf course, first off, and this is a city-owned golf course, right?
Correct. It's a municipal golf course. We're actually in Stenko Park, and we have a golf course. We have a restaurant. We have a beautiful playground, and we now have a pickleball tournament going on.
Which, the pickleball tournament, we're going to be here all day talking about raising money for Nosh Delivers. Downtown, what are you doing with the Village Square?
Well, the Village Square was built, I guess, approximately 2 years ago. It's part of the RXR project, and the city had...
I've heard them mention this RXR. I don't know what that is. I don't know who's associated with it. I don't know how they raise funds. I don't know what their charity. I don't know their foundation. I don't know. I know there's some kind of word pattern that they use of how they accept funds, how they disperse funds, how they use it for public, whatever. I just don't have that level of knowledge um, of what's backing it. Is it part of some Marshall Plan? Is it, again, not real clear on where their ratios, their numbers, their impact studies, how many kids have disappeared, how many kids are being hurt, what was there originally, why is there a turnover? Again, at shipping and containment and how this global economy is working when there's real specific local issues, there's regional issues, then there's some long distance calling plan from coast to coast. And then that was knocked out. And now it looks like mob aisle. And it's like, how do you protect oneself and their family, their future, their livelihoods from this destructive, invasive species of international callers that you don't even know if you have an international meal plan that exists, or how to find out, or how to structure one properly, and you don't know how to find a Eagle representative when you need them to ask these questions as they come up. So, I.
He has the right to use the village square for anything that they wish.
Halloween party today.
Today we're having a Halloween parade, which is going to end at Village Square on the 4th of July. We have a bike parade with a ceremony there. We have downtown sounds. We have concerts there every Friday night in the summer. We really utilize the Village Square for a tremendous number of things.
And you told me that I had to go to Morgan Park, which I did, and I couldn't stop taking pictures. I love the geese because you really know how to get down. But the views, you're doing a lot of work for this historic park as well, right?
Yeah, and from what I found out, when a lot of realtors want to sell homes, they bring prospective buyers right down to Morgan Park, which was owned by J.P. Morgan, and we've been spending a lot of time and money refurbishing parts of the park that really needed to be done. It's a very old park.
Until she said it, I worked for JP Morgan Chase, the new bank, in the local area. I was trained by them. I did not make, again, there was one comma with a really pathetic amount of money on a salary that I received in trying to survive and raise the 3 kids I had. When I had to leave real estate because I couldn't afford the mortgage and I needed whatever steady income. So the fact that JP Morgan, or his whatever legend of however that's handled at foundations and responsibilities and ancestry and children or relatives still in a local area that may need designated help or whatever. I'm not quite sure.
Last year, there are stairs that come from the Chinese Love House and go up, and they had completely washed away. The drainage had washed away. I would say in April or May, we had those totally rebuilt. They're just beautiful. Right now, the seawall is being repaired.
Saw the seawall.
Yeah.
Have the got some of the big machinery there.
So yeah, you couldn't walk along the water because of the construction.
It was beautiful.
Oh,
it really was
you?
beautiful. Oh yeah, it was beautiful. So there, in fact, we have pictures. Look, we have pictures right there.
We're also renovating the bathroom that's all the way up at the top. That's ongoing right now.
Well, you're very sweet to come up, get out early. We're going to talk about the pickleball tournament just real quickly. When you see a grassroots effort like this pickleball tournament, raising money for a great local organization, what does it say about Glen Cove?
It just says that there are amazing people that live in and around Glen Cove that have taken their passion for pickleball and turned it into something so worthy. They're raising money today for Nosh Delivers, which helps people who need food delivered to their home. People get food delivered every single week to their home. all kinds of food, and everybody here is making a donation. I made a donation. Come on down and make a donation, please.
And then they get to meet Vince. Mayor, I know you're busy. I know you have a busy schedule, even on a Saturday. Thank you for your time today. How did you do?
Thank you. I did great.
Yes,
Also,
you did.
wait a
You did. Wait, okay, all right.
Money Magazine just ranked Glen Cove 37th best place to live out of 50 in the entire United States. Only area in the
In New York.
New York to get that designation. So we're so proud of that.
I knew she was going to get that in. All right, well, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ranked 37. All right, so from 37th place to 37 degrees. We've got some chilly numbers. It's cool out here on the North Shore.
Before I did this video, I don't really know Glen Cove very well. I don't know this part of the Glen very well. I looked up on Realtor.com. They have some really beautiful, charming houses there.
And when we say night, that's probably post 9 p.m. So for a lot of kid activities, you're going to be okay. But for the big kid activities, if it's a party Monday night, it could be wet. That lingers into your Tuesday. And then it's November. Where did October go? And we're going to see numbers above normal. So we're going to see some nice warm numbers. And talk about Shop Local Saturday. The View Grill, which is right here, the restaurant with the golf course. During the pandemic, obviously, they had to change the way they do business, but what they did is they became the staging area for Nosh Delivers, which was helping feed people in need. So, boy, I got to tell you, there's a lot of community involvement and community connection here in Glen Cove, and we're going to talk more about that and meet the folks behind Nosh Delivers in a bit. Right now, though, send it back to a big Long Island lover. Back to Andrea in the studio.
Nice to get you out of Jersey for a little bit. Hope you're enjoying it, John. All right, we'll check back in with you in a few minutes. Up next, an alternative to the electric car. Why some...
Is that a New York Giants joke? Because again, they seem to run out, them and the Jets, they have a stadium in New Jersey. And again, I don't want to, whatever, but reinstating the obvious. The Bills are in New York, but paying the bills and keeping the lights on, they're so far up in Buffalo. It's like a complete, I met a man from Buffalo once. He entered my life frame just in time for the problem with 2012 or right before 2012, right around the whatever, that time frame. Now they have somebody called Ricky or Ricky, like Ranger Rick kind of a stuff, or Ricky, because it's two totally different, you're going to have to speak into my good ear. What was that? And something Ram.
Crimes, much more in our top stories in a moment. But first, a check on the weather. John Elliot is live in Glen Cove, Long Island, with our first alert forecast. Hey, John.
All right, Andrea, look it. You are not alone. I want you to meet Rick Ram. I did not make that up. This is Ricky and this is Ram, also known as Rick Ram. And what's the complaint?
You never come to Long Island.
You never come to Long Island. Where are you guys from?
We're from East Island, 2 minutes away from here in Glen Cove.
It's beautiful here.
Oh, it is like heaven. It is got everything. It's got nature. It's got beauty. It's got humility. It's got history.
Do you have to live in Glen Cove, adorable names like Rick Ram?
We thought it was a prerequisite,
Okay.
so that's why we had to join the club.
Well, thanks. You guys are so sweet to drive over. They drove over just to say hi to Johnny and Vince. So thank you. You guys have a great day.
Oh,
But watch how this works. I'm going to show you. It's cold. It's kind of chilly for Rick and Ram. Ram is, I think, actually dressed better than Rick. 46 in the park. We're probably around 42 here with a bit of a breeze on the beautiful North Shore. A little better there in Brookhaven. Look at Montauk, 51. Always happens, but look at the Hudson Valley. Chilly. High pressure serves up a sweet one today. If you're standing in the sun, it feels good. Even better for your Sunday. Nothing scary here, Andrea. All here to complain. No. All the share the love. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
We just want to welcome you to Long Island, John. So thank you to Rick and Ram for being on my team. We'll check back in with you in a few minutes. Well, today marks 10 years since Superstorm Sandy. Glen Cove, Long Island, with our first alert forecast. Hi, John.
Sandra, did you call everybody in Long Island and tell them to come and see me? So, Eva, what's your complaint again?
No complaints. I'm very happy to be here.
But you said you want me to come to Long Island all the time.
Oh, I said you're always around, but you're never around here.
Oh.
And I'm so happy to see you here this morning. I rushed down to see you.
You came down here just to see.
I did. And to support Nosh.
And I know Jim came to see Vince. He really appreciated his photography work. Every time I say Vince, we know all about Vince.
Yes.
God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm glad that you're out here, and thank you for supporting Nosh and our local charities.
I got to tell you, the more you learn about Nosh, you learn about Glen Cove, because so many people help this great group that helps so many people. So you guys have a great day.
Thank you so much.
I hope your brother-in-law taped it.
I hope so.
All right, so let's see. See how that works? All right, hey, a few clouds, but I got to tell you, for the most part, high pressure is ready to serve up. Nice day today. It's chilly. We are going to see...
I've never heard of Nosh before today. But again, I've got whatever going on with limited contact.
Again, Nosh Delivers kind of changed during the pandemic, and even our friends here at the View, they helped you stage for deliveries. Can you give me some ballpark numbers? How many folks do you help, and how?
Sure, we serve about.
Now I see products and I see where they're mentioning them from.
300 families. That's families in the Glen Cove and surrounding areas. We have two things that we do. We deliver to their homes for about 220 of those families. We actually drop off food to their homes, meals of 2 complete meals for a family of 4 or 5 people, nutritional meals. And we also have where about another 100 people come to our location, which is at 32 School Street, back entrance.
And I noticed at your location that people shop. You give people the right to shop with dignity.
Exactly. Dignity is hugely important for us. We want people to be able to choose the food that they want so they can make these meals for themselves and for their families and really just have good nutrition and feel good about what they're doing.
Christine, you see, you're going to have a couple hundred people here today. You see an event like this just grow out of the community. What's it say about this community?
The Glen Cove community is amazing. From the beginning of when we started Nosh, we have had so much support from all of them, from organizations, from businesses, from individual donors. They have been instrumental in allowing us to continue this mission, which is so important for this community and the surrounding areas.
I did a big fundraiser for the in Bergen County, and people think like Bergen County, North Shore, these are wealthy areas. There's still a lot of need here on the North Shore, right?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, this came out of the pandemic, but food insensitivity is here, and it's unfortunately not going away. So there is many, many individuals and families who continue to need our services, and we're really proud to continue that.
Well, we also like to, on Saturdays, celebrate local small businesses, and the number of small businesses. We're going to talk to David in our next hour.
And he's going to mention she's holding the dough.
Like Johnny Breads, just folks that want to help contribute or just pony up with the dough. Dough! Wait, I just did that! That's live television. And we're gonna have some more fun, and we're gonna get Vince all suited up for pickleball. Coming up in our next hour as well. Right now, though, Andrea, we're waiting for more people to come up to me and say, move to Long Island. Right now, though, we'll send it back to you on another island called Manhattan.
I was just going to say, there's still over an hour for more Long Islanders to come say hi to John, so please do.
Yes.
Please do. All right. Thank you, John. In sports this morning, the Knicks were in...
This is the picture that reminds me of Lake Grove and the costume that Benjamin was in that day.
Halloween on Monday. Hi, John.
Well, so we're at this great pickleball tournament for a great cause here in Glen Cove. I just met Mary Ellen. I love your name. You've got over 30 items up for raffle, right?
Exactly, we do. They're all been donated by pickleball companies, also local merchants, and we have 27 raffles, and we have like 4 items that are on a silent auction.
Yeah, so again, it just speaks to the community support. The popular items are the thanks, Mary Ellen, the pickleball gear, some of these gift baskets, and some of these silent auction items are pretty cool as well. It just speaks to the popularity of this sport, and also you can walk by. You're working so hard. The community spirit, and another one of the community members that's contributing. I just met this guy, Ian Siegel. He's one of the owners of the shop by Truby Hill.
Correct.
First off, your shop is great. It's in the new development, right?
Yes, we're in downtown Glen Cove in the new RXR development called the Village Square, the center of the downtown.
And this was a pandemic project turned profitable, turned business, right?
Yes, during the pandemic when we had a lot of free time on our hand.
Now, this is interesting, this little piece.
Alert forecast. Hi, John.
With the commissioner of pickleball, we found Ron Menzel. You're the commissioner of pickleball. Is this for the state or the country?
Unofficial.
First off, we just interrupted Ron's game, and his opponents, they want points for this.
Yes.
How popular is pickleball?
The best. I started playing about 6 years ago. We had about 10 people. We're at about 150 right now, just in this area.
What's your oldest pickleball player?
84.
What's your youngest pickleball player?
18 probably.
Man, and they all love it.
Everybody loves it. You play it once, you're addicted. It's the best game there is.
I have played it, and I love the science. All right, you guys, I'm sorry, you're not getting any points for that. All right. We had to have the commissioner. So yeah, and then no, they want better wind reports. All right, so yeah, we're fine. Thank you, Ron. Thank you. So we're going to talk more about pickleball and the community support for a great local organization, Nosh Delivers. But yeah, we are having a ball here. Numbers, it's starting to warm up.
Here's a bit of local news. They made 2 females, one of FDNY, one of NYPD commissioners.
And Commissioner Kavanaugh is in good company. This appointment comes less than a year after Keyshawn Sewell became the NYPD's first female commissioner. Time now is 10:46. Time for a check of the weather. Again, John Elliot live in Glen Cove, Long Island with our first alert forecast. Hey, John.
Got the forecast and friends, making friends, which is easy to do on a pickleball court. Gately, Stevenson, Matthews, and my old buddy David Fleur. Now, first off, you guys are both volunteers for Nosh Delivers. Why is Nosh so vital for this community?
Well, as I mentioned, I'm a founding member of Nosh, and certainly at the peak of the pandemic, it was so very important that we get food to families here on the North Shore. But our economy is such, and thankfully the pandemic, while it is still here, is not making such an impact, but it is so important that we get out to people and that we serve
Because the need is still there.
Very much so. And that's what I think oftentimes people don't realize, because we go in every neighborhood, every nook and cranny, and if there is a need and people have food insecurities, we make sure we serve, and we go to them. Yeah. And that is what is so unique, and why it is Nosh Delivers, which is a perfect name for the organization.
What you did there with Delivers. David, okay, so you're a volunteer too, but you see the outpouring of support. Obviously, this speaks to the popularity of pickleball. It'll be fun to see how she gets that pickleball. But also, what's it say about the community?
Well, pickleball is a really friendly sport. Glen Cove is incredibly community-minded, and you put that together, it's natural that we would do a tournament like this as a fundraiser. I got involved in Nosh because of pickleball.
Well, it's funny. We talk about every Saturday, we like to highlight local businesses and their support. And so one of the businesses is Henry's. Tell me about Henry's.
Oh, Henry's is a 1929 ice cream parlor in Glen Cove. Such a popular place. You'll see the same people there every morning, and the hot fudge sun.
It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza, it's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. My phone's running out of memory, so I'm just gonna cut it off right here.